Good morning, everyone. This is Al Rodee. This is 8 for 8. It's a beautiful day in downtown Halifax, Nova Scotia, as it always is. It's even more beautiful than usual. The sun is out. It's crispy and fall-like and sunny, and just I've got the wood stove going, and what an amazing day. I want to talk a little bit about IBS and Crohn's and colitis and other diseases that have kind of come into my awareness lately that I really believe, of course I'm not a medical doctor, I have no professional training, it's just my intuition and my having worked for the last 3 years with people who have disease and illness as well as emotional issues. But I really believe that irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's and colitis, ulcers, gastritis, anything to do with the gut and the bowel, all of these so-called diseases are emotionally based. And the first thing I want to say is it's not your fault. So when you say, sometimes you say to people, well, it's emotionally based, person automatically kind of feels defensive and goes into their, everybody tells me it's all in my head. And that's not really what I'm saying here, although it is physically held in the body. These traumas are very connected to us and a very big part of who we think we are over our lives. Our story of illness and disease becomes something that is a part of us and something that we share with others, and we have a really good way of telling this story and a very good way of making these stories up. And I don't mean that we're making them up, but that we just kind of ways of helping people hear us and understand what it is that we're trying to say about our story. And so if you think about situations in your life where you have been highly stressed or highly anxious or worried about something, and then you think about yourself or others that you may know who have had diseases that are held around the lower abdominal area or in the bowel, you know that stress relates. Many people hold their stress, and almost everybody who is highly stressed has some discomfort in their lower gut. If nothing else, then kind of regular bouts with nausea or diarrhea or constipation and those kinds of things. And so I think that these issues are emotionally held and physically held at the same time in the body. And that physical connection can often easily be dealt with and removed with EFT. I've watched it happen over and over and over. We have clients that come to Tuesday night group who used to be have ulcers and diabetes and scoliosis. These are all physical, diagnosed as physical illnesses. Yet these clients no longer have these problems, and the problems were only healed by consistent and continuous practice with EFT. And so I'm going to suggest that if you are holding tension in your gut, if you are feeling like you have, or if you're diagnosed with IBS or Crohn's and colitis or ulcers or tension in the lower abdomen, that you have a really good chance, a really good opportunity, that there's a gift coming your way in learning how to do EFT. And of course, Ho'oponopono brings you closer to your spirit, and it's absolutely paramount that we have a wonderful, enlightened conversation with our inner child, who is our direct connection to spirit. And so I'm going to tap on, now I want you to think about any kind of physical, it could be a headache, it could be something where you're not breathing as well as you'd like to, you're not getting enough air, that maybe you feel like you're out of shape, and you'd like to be able to have more oxygen in your life, or maybe you have IBS or Crohn's or colitis. I firmly believe that IBS, Crohn's, and colitis can be cured within 6 months of intensive EFT therapy without any medication, without any surgical intervention, without any issue, as long as it hasn't already been kind of treated with surgery in the first place. And so, please look into the possibility. I'm not suggesting that you ignore what your doctor tells you. Certainly, the doctors are in charge of our healing at this point. You are in charge of your own healing, but I suggest that you certainly take the advice of your doctor, but also include a strong regimen of EFT, and while you're at it, you may as well clean, saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. So tapping on the karate chop point, even though I have this physical disease, whatever that may be, or this syndrome, this problem that's diagnosed by our well-meaning medical community, yet seems to have no real-world solution. I love and forgive myself deeply and completely for attracting it into my life. Even though I have this condition, this problem, this disease, I realize, I recognize, I accept that it's not my fault. Yet I forgive myself anyway for being disconnected from my spirit. As I worry about this disease, as I think about things that bother me, I am disconnected from spirit, and so in order to reconnect, I say, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Even though I have this disease, this so-called illness, this diagnosed quote-unquote problem, I recognize it as only a way to get closer to my spirit, to love and accept myself deeply and completely, to follow the path of alternative healing, and to practice that path over and over and over until I find health in my life. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. Top of the head. Even though I have this disconnection from spirit, I choose to reconnect. In fact, I am reconnecting right at this moment. I'm getting closer to God, closer to who I truly am, and I love and forgive myself for being otherwise. Inside eye. I am getting closer to spirit so that I can work less and accomplish more and feel more peace and joy and more relaxed in my life. Outside eye. I'm closer and closer to spirit with every time I tap, and I forgive myself for attracting disease and illness into my life. Under the eye. I forgive myself, my well-meaning parents, my well-meaning caregivers, and all of my ancestors back to the beginning of time, so that I may heal and grow and learn to love, learn to forgive, and be grateful for all that I am. Under the nose. I release all frustration and anger and anxiety and stress from my lower abdomen, from my gut, from my bowel. And I enter the week with a relaxed feeling and love in my heart. On the chin, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. On the collarbone, I have in my life had disease, diagnosed medical conditions, undiagnosed issues, things that have happened to me that no one really had an explanation for. And I accept them all as 100% my responsibility, yet not my fault. And as they are my responsibility, I choose to practice EFT. I choose to practice Ho'oponopono. I choose to love inner spirit, inner child, and get closer and closer to who I really am. Under the arm. I'm 51 trillion cells, all healthy and happy and working as a team to become the best that I can be, to be close to spirit, and to have a wonderful, wonderful week of joy, fulfillment, and happiness. That was fun. This is Al Rodee. I hope you're closer to spirit at the end of this than you were when you started. I'm so grateful for everything that you bring to 8 for 8. Please join us again next week. I look forward to it. Certainly would be grateful if you would like 8 for 8 on Facebook, and if you would invite your friends to join us as we would like to grow and become bigger and better known. So thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Beverly.